Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the GhostRider's Zone. I'm Ghost Rider TGAC, and I'd like to welcome you to the second episode. This week we're going to be talking about the new device from XCM called the XFPS 360. Now this little device is designed to allow gamers to connect their mouse and their keyboard to their Xbox 360. Now what's unique about this? Well, I know that you're able to connect your mouse and your keyboard to your 360 right now. Of course, your mouse doesn't do anything. And your keyboard, though it can control things in the dashboard and allows you to enter in some alphanumeric information and is handy for games like Final Fantasy, it really doesn't meet the needs of a lot of the first-person shooter and third-person shooter genre games, such as what I've got running in the background here, which is Call of Duty 3. Now, this is the kind of device that people have been waiting for. A device that allows you to get on in the first-person and third-person shooter games and play with your mouse and keyboard. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the device. I'm going to show you some of what this device can do a little bit later on, but I'm going to tell you about the device first off. It is a USB device, plugs right into the USB port on your 360. You have ports for your PS2 style keyboard and your PS2 style mouse. You also have a port, two USB ports. Now, you can use USB keyboard and mouse, but the one kicker and one piece of information that you need to know and be aware of is that you have to have a wired joystick in order to use the XFPS. You're going to plug your wired joystick, your wired 360 controller right into the USB port, plug your PS2 keyboard and mouse into the device on these ports. Now, in addition to having all these ports, it's also got a PlayStation style connector so that you can use your PlayStation controller too. I don't have a demonstration for you for that because I don't have any PlayStation controllers right now. Hopefully later on I'll be able to give you a little bit of a follow-up with the PlayStation controller, tell you how that works. On the top of the device, you've got indicators for which player that you're playing as, 1, 2, 3, 4. You also have a default and a set option. That's for programming the device. It comes preset with a series of commands matching the joystick buttons right to your keyboard and your mouse, but you can custom configure it. And I found that in several games it made more sense to custom configure it. For example, the default configuration for Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 just didn't work out. I had to reconfigure the mouse, the index finger mouse, or the left click rather, so that it matched the A button. In the shooter games, it's fine because by default the left click is your right trigger, if that makes any sense. Left click is your normal shooting trigger, if that makes sense, in most first-person shooter games. So that works. But you can configure everything. You also have a series of turbo switches which allow you to speed up, basically double-clicking the buttons that you select that you want the turbo to be on. It's really easy to connect, but you have to keep in mind that when you do connect a device, you have to plug your keyboard, your mouse, and your wired joystick into the device, then plug it into the 360 while the 360 is on. If you try to power it up with this device plugged in, it's not going to work. So that's what we're going to step to next. I'd like to give you a little bit of a demonstration, and I'll tell you about the good, the bad, and what my overall rating is a little bit later on. Alright, for the first game I'm going to show you a little bit about it. I've actually just opened up a multiplayer session for System Link on Call of Duty 3 by Activision. I think this game was made very for mouse to mouse. So, you know, if you've got a better gaming mouse than the generic mouse that I'm doing my tests with, you're probably going to have better results than I am. And I'm just using a standard Dell keyboard here. My right trigger is configured to, as I said before, the left mouse button. Really easy to shoot. If you need to move someplace and take a close shot, you can easily zoom in with the right mouse button and take a nice aim, and doesn't move too fast, but again, it's not like you're going to be going against people who are playing on PC. You're going to be going against other controller players, So they have the same disadvantage. So if you do like mouse and keyboard, you're definitely going to find that in this particular game, it's definitely an advantage if you like this style of play. Example, if you want to throw or if you want to shoot a grenade, actually I don't have any grenades, but the center mouse roller, when you push it, will allow you to gear up a grenade. Rolling the center mouse roller will allow you to change your weapons. Very simple and very easy, which is really handy on the fly. Your space bar is your A button and allows you to jump really quickly. Your X button is mapped to the R by default, so if you need to jump into a vehicle, you can jump into the vehicle with the R, and then the driving for the vehicle is pretty straightforward. By the way, the walking buttons, which are the same as your left thumbstick, your left analog thumbstick on the joystick, are mapped to your classic WASD. Actually, I'm going to jump in a vehicle here. And I don't like that position, so I'm going to switch to the driver position, and I'm going to hit the gas, and we're going to drive around a little bit to show you how driving is actually pretty easy. Let's take off and give it a little bit more gas. Whoa, 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 there we go. Driving is pretty easy too. And it's very classic, like the old PC games might have been driving. Though I think the thumbstick may be a little bit better for this kind of more smooth motion. But it's certainly adequate, and if you're used to playing with the keyboard and mouse, it will definitely please you. Let's move on to a little bit of Gears of War action so you can see how it works in Gears of War. And I'd also like to show you a couple of other games and see how you like it in there. So this is the first demo, and we'll move on from here. Alright, I am in Gears of War, and Godfrey TGAC has joined me in the game just to demonstrate some of the functionality of the XFPS in Gears of War. You can see I'm moving the mouse around to get a view. Moving the mouse around for a view is pretty fast, pretty slick. Again, WSD is your movement. You end up holding down W a lot of the time to move. Your space bar is your A button by default, so that's great for ducking behind things and taking cover. Of course, jumping over things if you need to do that. There we go. And R picks up stuff. That's very conveniently placed. Let's see if we can get some shooting action here. Well, that was helpful. Godfrey TGAC decided to kill himself on the tracks. Hopefully this time he won't do that, so we can actually see some killing. Alright, I think I'm going to run up and get the torque bow. Switch out the shotgun for Magnum.